The ocean has a ruler, a silent predator that's been around longer than the trees, even older than the dinosaurs. Yeah, today we're going to dive deep into the world of the shark. Okay, just look at this timeline. It really puts the shark's reign into perspective. 400 million years. Think about that for a second. They literally watched the dinosaurs come and go. They survived multiple mass extinctions that wiped out almost everything else on the planet. If that isn't the ultimate survivor, I don't know what is. So, how do you stick around for 400 million years? Well, you get really, really good at what you do. The shark has had all that time to perfect its craft. So what's the secret? What makes it such a perfect predator? It all comes down to its incredible design. Okay, get this. Their whole body is basically a weapon. For starters, their skeleton isn't even made of bone. It's cartilage, the same stuff that's in your ears. This makes them way lighter and so much more agile in the water. And the teeth? Oh, the teeth. It's like a constant conveyor belt of new razor-sharp replacements. They never have to worry about a dull bite. Ever. But all that physical stuff? That's just half the story. The really wild part is their senses. They are so advanced, it's almost like they have superpowers. This is what takes them from just being a great predator to a true masterpiece of evolution. You've probably heard about their sense of smell, and trust me, it's legendary for a reason. They can detect a single scent molecule from kilometers away. That's how they can track something across huge stretches of the open ocean. It's just chillingly precise. But it's not just about smell. They can feel their prey. They have this special network of organs running down their sides that picks up the tiniest vibrations in the water. It's literally a sixth sense. So even in total pitch-black darkness, they know exactly where a struggling fish is. Okay, and if that wasn't enough, here comes the most mind-blowing ability of all. Sharks can actually sense the tiny electrical fields that all living things give off. So a fish hiding buried under the sand, its faint heartbeat is like a giant flashing neon sign to a shark. In their world, there's absolutely nowhere to hide. So when we say shark, we're actually talking about a huge, diverse family, right? The word just doesn't do it justice. We're talking about over 500 different known species, and the variety between them is just staggering. Just look at the range here. On one end, you've got the dwarf lantern shark. It's so small, it can fit in the palm of your hand. Then, on the other end of the spectrum, you have the whale shark, the biggest fish on the entire planet, a gentle giant the size of a school bus. The difference is just, it's breathtaking. And yet, despite all this incredible diversity and evolutionary genius, what's the first image that pops into most people's heads? The mindless man-eating monster, right? Yeah, it's time we completely debunk that myth. It's a reputation they just do not deserve. Let's be clear. That image of the vengeful killer shark, that's pure Hollywood. It's fiction. Here's a fact for you. You are far, far more likely to be struck by lightning than be attacked by a shark. It's not even close. Why? Because we're just not on their menu. Okay, so if they aren't the monsters we see in the movies, then what are they? Well, their real role in the ocean is so much more important than being some summer blockbuster villain. They're not monsters, they're guardians. The technical term is apex predator. That just means they're at the very top of the food chain. And their presence has this incredible ripple effect, keeping the entire ecosystem in balance. They aren't just hunters, you see. They're more like architects building a healthy ocean. And here's how they do it. It's actually pretty brilliant. First, they tend to prey on the weak and the sick. This keeps fish populations strong and healthy. Then, they control the populations of the predators just below them on the food chain, and that prevents those smaller predators from destroying vital habitats like coral reefs. It's a chain reaction, and their impact is it's profound. And listen, this isn't an exaggeration. You take the sharks out of the equation, and it's like pulling the bottom card from a house of cards. The whole thing starts to collapse. That's how critical their role is. Which brings us to this really tragic, massive irony. This ancient ruler, this perfect survivor, this guardian, is now facing the biggest threat it has ever known. After all this time, the predator has finally become the prey. So you have to ask yourself, right? After 400 million years, after surviving asteroids, ice ages, everything, what could possibly be a threat? What could be worse than a planet-wide extinction event? Well, the answer is us. Millions. Just let that number sink in. That's a conservative estimate of how many sharks humans kill every single year. The sheer scale of it, it's almost impossible to wrap your head around.
And why? Why is this happening? Well, they're killed for their fins, often just for soup. They're hunted for their meat. They're harvested for their oil. And this relentless pressure has pushed so many shark species right to the very brink of disappearing forever.
So let's circle all the way back to the truth. We have to change the story. We have to replace that old, tired, fictional monster with the reality of what this animal is. It's not a monster, it is a masterpiece of evolution, a silent ruler that is absolutely essential to the health of our entire planet. And that leaves us with one final and pretty urgent question. This creature has survived pretty much everything this universe could throw at it. But now, after 400 million years of ruling the deep, its ultimate test is here. The question is, can it survive us?